Ethan sat quietly in the shuttle as it glided through space. He looked out the window, watching the distant stars. His hands were a little sweaty. This was not a normal mission. He was chosen to go as a diplomat to a powerful alien empire. Earth's leaders trusted him to help make peace. He wondered if he was ready. The alien planet came into view, shining blue and purple under its strange sun. Ethan felt nervous, but he tried to hide it. When the shuttle landed, a group of tall alien guards greeted him. They wore silver armor that sparkled in the light. They did not speak, only bowed. Ethan nodded back and followed them. The palace was huge. Its walls glowed with a soft light, and there were strange plants growing everywhere, their leaves bright and beautiful. Ethan felt small as he walked down the long hall. At the end he saw the throne. On it sat Queen Lysara. She looked calm and strong. Her skin was a soft shade of blue, her eyes bright like gemstones. Her dress flowed around her like water. The guards stepped aside. Ethan walked forward and stopped, unsure what to do. The queen smiled kindly. She spoke in clear English, which surprised Ethan. "Welcome, Ethan. We are happy to receive a friend." From Earth, Ethan relaxed a little. He bowed and said, "Thank you, Your Majesty. I am honored to be here." Lysara motioned for him to sit. "You have traveled far. You must be tired. But I hope you are ready for important work." Ethan smiled. "I will do my best, Your Majesty." The queen looked at him with a curious expression. "Why do humans want peace with us?" Ethan thought about his answer. "Our worlds are different, but we have much to share. We want to learn from each other and grow together. War is not good for anyone." Lysara nodded. "I agree. My people wish for peace too. But there are those who fear humans." Ethan listened carefully. "I hope we can change that, Your Majesty." They talked for a long time. The queen asked many questions about Earth. Ethan answered honestly. He told her about the oceans, the forests, and the cities. Lysara was surprised that humans were not all the same. She wanted to know why people sometimes fought even when they had enough. Ethan said, "We are not perfect. Sometimes we make mistakes, but we also learn and we try to be better." Lysara smiled. "I like that answer." When the meeting ended, a servant led Ethan to his room. It was large and comfortable. He looked out the window at the alien city below. Lights blinked everywhere. He saw ships flying through the sky. It was so different from home, but also beautiful. Ethan wondered if he could really help bring peace. The next day, Ethan started the work. There were meetings every morning. Some alien leaders did not trust him. They spoke in sharp voices, asking many questions. Ethan answered as calmly as he could. He tried to show respect. Sometimes it was hard, but he did not give up. When he was tired, he remembered why he was here. He wanted to make things better. At meals, the queen sometimes joined him. She was always curious, asking about small things, what food humans liked, what music they played, how children learned. Ethan answered and also asked questions. He learned that Lysara loved music, and she sometimes sang in the palace gardens at night. Her songs were soft and sad, but also beautiful. One evening, after a long meeting, the queen asked Ethan to walk with her in the garden. The flowers glowed in the dark, lighting their path. Lysara spoke quietly. "Do you miss home?" Ethan nodded. "Yes, I do, but I am glad to be here. I feel I am learning every day." Lysara looked at him closely. "Many humans would be afraid." "You are not?" Ethan shrugged. "I am sometimes afraid. But I believe peace is worth the risk." The queen smiled again. "You are brave, Ethan. I hope my people can see that." Suddenly, an alarm sounded. The lights in the garden turned red. Guards rushed toward them, weapons ready. Lysara's face grew serious. "Stay close to me." They hurried inside. In the palace halls, people were running. A messenger shouted, "Rival ships are approaching. They want to break the peace." Lysara turned to Ethan. "You must be safe." Ethan shook his head. "I came here for peace. I want to help." The queen looked at him, surprised by his answer. "You are not like others." The palace staff prepared for trouble. Guards helped lead the queen and Ethan to a safe room. Outside, sounds of fighting echoed through the walls. Ethan tried to stay calm. Lysara stood by him, watching the door. Suddenly, The door shook. Something tried to break in. The guards held firm. Ethan looked around the room. He saw a small control panel. He asked Lysara, "What does that do?" She answered, "It can seal the doors and send a signal to our ships." Ethan rushed to the panel. He pressed a button, following the pictures on the screen. The doors locked tighter. A loud alarm blared. Soon he heard the sound of alien fighters above the palace. The Queen's people were fighting back. After a long time, the sounds of fighting faded. A guard reported, "The enemy is retreating." Lysara turned to Ethan, relief on her face. "You helped save us." Ethan smiled, still catching his breath. "I just did what I could." The Queen looked at him with new respect. "You risked your life for me and my people?" Ethan nodded. "That's what friends do." Later that night, as the palace quieted down, Lysara sent for Ethan. She thanked him again and told him he would be given a place of honor during the peace talks. She said, "You have shown true courage. I hope my people can learn from you." Ethan felt proud. He knew there would be many hard days ahead, but he was no longer afraid. He wanted to do his best for both their worlds. Ethan woke up early the next morning in his new room. The walls glowed with a soft blue light. He sat up and listened to the quiet. He could hear the sounds of the alien city far below. Ships moved in the sky, and strange birds sang outside his window. For a moment, he almost forgot he was on a different planet. But then he remembered the attack and all that happened the night before. He got dressed quickly and went to the main hall. The palace felt busy. People hurried everywhere, fixing what was broken from the fight. Some windows were cracked, and pieces of the wall were being repaired by robots. Everyone looked tired, but also hopeful. When Ethan walked into the meeting room, he saw Queen Lysara talking to her advisors. She saw Ethan and gave him a warm smile. "Good morning, Ethan," she said. "You slept well?" "Yes, Your Majesty," Ethan answered. He tried to look confident, even though he felt nervous. "Is everyone safe?" The Queen nodded. "Yes, thanks to your help. My people are grateful. Some of the staff are still scared, but they know you are a friend now." Ethan felt a little shy. He was not used to so much attention. But he knew it was important to be strong for the peace talks. More alien leaders arrived, and the meeting began. They talked about how to stop another attack and how to show other worlds that humans could be trusted. During a break, Lysara took Ethan to see more of the palace. She showed him the art room where alien children painted with bright colors. She took him to the music hall where a group played soft tunes on strange, glowing instruments. Ethan smiled. "Everything here is so different, but also so beautiful," he said. Lysara agreed. "I hope you feel at home, Ethan. My world can be strange, but we have many things to share." As the days passed, Ethan and Lysara spent more time together. The Queen liked to walk in the gardens at night. Sometimes she invited Ethan to join her. They talked about their worlds, their hopes, and their dreams. Ethan told her stories about Earth, about his family, and about the ocean. Lysara listened with interest and told him about her childhood. She said she became queen at a young age, and it was not always easy. But she wanted her people to have a better future. One day, the palace prepared for a big festival. The air smelled sweet from special flowers. Lights were strung up everywhere, and people danced in the courtyards. Ethan watched with wonder as aliens in bright clothes sang and laughed. Lysara wore a dress made of shimmering fabric that changed colors as she moved. She looked happy and peaceful as the sun set. Lysara invited Ethan to a quiet part of the palace. "Tonight is a special night," she said softly. "We have a tradition. On this day, we honor those who brought peace. We share a special ceremony called soul bonding." Ethan listened. "What does that mean?" Lysara looked serious. "It is a private ceremony, only shared with someone you trust. It joins two lives together in spirit. It is not common with outsiders, but I feel you deserve to know our true ways." Ethan was surprised and a little nervous. "Are you sure? I am only a guest." The Queen smiled gently. "You are more than that now. You saved my life and showed me kindness. Will you join me in this ceremony?" Ethan took a deep breath and nodded. "Yes, Your Majesty. I am honored." They went into a small room filled with soft lights and sweet-smelling flowers. 2 chairs faced each other, and there was a bowl of clear water in the center. Lysara explained that they would each put their hands in the water and share their true thoughts with each other. Ethan placed his hands in the bowl, and so did Lysara. The water glowed softly. For a moment, Ethan felt a warm feeling spread through him. He saw memories of Lysara's childhood, her dreams, her worries, and her hopes for peace. In return, he shared his own memories and feelings. He felt close to her in a way he had never felt with anyone before. The ceremony lasted only a few minutes, but it left them both quiet and thoughtful. When they finished, Lysara smiled with tears in her eyes. "Thank you, Ethan. You are now part of our world." Ethan smiled back. He felt different, lighter, and stronger at the same time. He realized he cared about Lysara and her people, and he wanted to help them. After the ceremony, Lysara and Ethan returned to the festival. The music was louder now, and people danced under the stars. Some of the aliens looked at Ethan with new respect. He realized they had learned about the ceremony and now saw him as a true friend. As the night went on, Lysara stood close to Ethan. She spoke quietly. "Tonight you have changed our history. No human has ever joined our soul bonding before. It will give hope to many." Ethan felt proud but also a bit worried. "Do you think your people will accept it?" The Queen nodded. "Some will be afraid, but most want peace. They need to see courage and kindness. You have shown both." Ethan watched the dancers and thought about what the future might bring. He knew things would not be easy. There would still be those who feared humans and those who wanted to fight. But tonight, he felt hope. Late in the night, when the festival ended, Lysara thanked Ethan again and wished him good night. Ethan went back to his room, feeling tired but happy. He lay in bed and thought about the ceremony, the Queen, and all that had happened. He looked out the window at the stars. Somewhere out there, his own people waited for news. He hoped he could tell them that peace was possible. He closed his eyes and dreamed of a better future where humans and aliens could be friends. The next morning, news of the ceremony spread through the palace. Some people were happy and some were unsure, but most were curious. They wanted to know more about Ethan and why the Queen had chosen him for such an honor. Ethan met with more alien leaders. They asked him about his world and about the ceremony. He answered as best he could, always showing respect and honesty. With every meeting, he felt a little more at home. He spent more time with Lysara, learning about her people's ways. They went on walks, visited schools, and watched children play in the gardens. Ethan learned new words in the alien language and tried new foods. Sometimes he made mistakes, but everyone laughed kindly and helped him learn. One afternoon, Lysara took Ethan to a high balcony. They could see the whole city below. She pointed to the different parts of the city and told him about their history. She talked about the times of war and the times of peace. She said she wanted her people to know a new kind of peace, one that included friends from far away. Ethan listened closely. He realized that Lysara was not just a ruler, but also someone who cared deeply for her people. He felt lucky to know her and wanted to do everything he could to help. That evening, the Queen gave a speech to her people. She spoke about the festival, the attack, and the new friendship with humans. She told them about the soul bonding ceremony and said it was a new step toward peace. The crowd cheered and many people looked at Ethan with hope in their eyes. As the sun set, Ethan and Lysara stood together on the balcony. They watched the city lights come on, one by one. For the first time, Ethan felt that maybe he truly belonged on this strange and wonderful world. Ethan's days in the palace became busier. Each morning he joined Queen Lysara and her advisors for meetings. They discussed the peace treaty, the needs of both worlds, and how to protect the palace from future attacks. The Queen trusted Ethan more now, and her advisors slowly began to accept him, though some still looked at him with doubt. Ethan knew it would take time for everyone to trust a human, but he tried his best to show respect and patience. One day, while walking through the palace gardens, Lysara told Ethan, "Our world has always been slow to trust strangers. But you have changed many minds just by being kind." Ethan smiled, but he also remembered the attack. "I only did what was right. I want to help, not just for humans, but for your people too. Lysara nodded. That is why you are important. Peace must come from both sides. Later, the palace held a special ceremony to honor those who helped defend the city. Ethan stood beside Lysara as she gave medals to brave guards and staff. When she gave Ethan a medal, the whole room clapped. Some alien children waved and smiled at him. For the first time, Ethan felt truly welcome. After the ceremony, Lysara invited Ethan to her private study. She wanted to talk more about the soul bonding ritual. Did you feel anything strange after the ceremony? She asked. Ethan thought for a moment. I felt closer to you and to your people. It was like I could understand your feelings. Sometimes I even dream about your world. Lysara seemed pleased. That is the mark of a true bond. Our souls are connected now. We will always understand each other, even without words. That night, Ethan could not sleep. He remembered the strange dreams he had since the ceremony. He saw memories from Lysara's past and felt her hopes and fears. Sometimes he even felt her happiness or sadness during the day. It was both strange and wonderful. The next day, the palace was busy again. The rival faction had not given up. There were rumors of another attack. Guards checked every room, and the Queen's advisors grew more worried. Lysara asked Ethan to stay close to her in case of trouble. While they waited for news, Lysara and Ethan spent time together, walking through the palace halls. They talked about the future and how to bring real peace. Ethan told stories about how humans had once fought each other but later learned to work together. Lysara listened carefully, hoping her people could do the same. One afternoon, a sudden alarm rang out. Ethan and Lysara hurried to the control room. The screen showed enemy ships near the city. Guards rushed to their posts. The Queen's voice was calm as she gave orders. Ethan watched her and felt proud. She was a strong leader, but also cared for her people. Ethan looked at the maps on the screen. He noticed a weak spot in the city's defenses. There, he pointed. They might attack from that direction. Lysara listened and ordered her guards to watch that area. Soon, enemy fighters came from that exact path. Thanks to Ethan's warning, the guards were ready. They stopped the attack before it reached the palace. After the danger passed, Lysara thanked Ethan. Your quick thinking saved many lives today. Ethan felt relief. I am glad I could help. Your people are brave. I am proud to stand with them. In the days that followed, things slowly returned to normal. The Queen and her advisors started to trust Ethan's advice even more. The people of the city began to see him as a hero. Some even asked him to visit their homes and tell stories about Earth. One evening, Lysara invited Ethan to a quiet dinner in her private garden. They sat beneath the glowing flowers and watched the stars. The Queen spoke softly. Do you ever feel lonely, Ethan? Being so far from home? Ethan thought for a moment. Sometimes I miss Earth, but here I feel like I am part of something bigger. I want to see peace between our worlds. Lysara reached out and touched Ethan's hand. You are not alone. You are part of our family now. Ethan felt warm inside. He knew their friendship had grown deeper. He realized he cared for Lysara, not just as a leader, but as a person. Suddenly, one of the royal healers hurried into the garden. She looked worried but also amazed. Your Majesty, may I speak with you in private? Lysara excused herself and left with the healer. Ethan waited, wondering what was happening. After a few minutes, Lysara returned, looking surprised and thoughtful. She sat beside Ethan and took his hand. There is something strange. The healer says I am showing early signs of pregnancy. That is not supposed to be possible with a human. Ethan stared at her in shock. Is it true? Lysara nodded. Our science says it cannot happen, but the soul bonding was powerful. Maybe it changed something inside us. Ethan tried to understand. Are you happy? The Queen smiled. Yes, I am not afraid. This child could be a symbol of hope for both our worlds. Ethan felt a mix of emotions. He worried about what others would think, but he also felt proud and honored. He promised to stand by Lysara and support her. News of the Queen's condition soon spread through the palace. Some people were shocked and others were excited. Many whispered in the halls, wondering if it was true. The royal advisors asked Lasara what to do next. Lasara called a meeting with her council. Ethan stood beside her as she spoke. This child is a blessing. It shows that our two peoples can truly come together. I will not hide the truth. The council was silent at first, then a few leaders nodded in support. Others were unsure, but no one spoke against the Queen. As the days passed, Lasara's news spread beyond the palace. The city was full of rumors and questions. Some people celebrated, while others worried about what it meant for their world. But Lasara remained calm and proud. Ethan supported her through it all. He joined her at public events and spoke with leaders from both sides. He answered questions and tried to bring comfort to those who were scared. At night, Ethan and Lasara talked quietly about their future. They did not know what would happen next, but they were sure of one thing. Their bond was strong and they would face any challenge together. One evening, as they watched the city lights from the balcony, Lasara turned to Ethan and said, "No matter what happens, I am glad you are here. Together we can show our worlds that love and hope are stronger than fear." Ethan smiled, feeling hopeful. For the first time since he arrived, he truly believed that peace was possible and that he and Lasara were meant to lead their people into a better future. In the days that followed, the palace was filled with whispers and questions. The news that Queen Lasara was going to have a child and that Ethan, a human, was the father spread quickly. People all over the city talked about it. Some were excited, and some were afraid. Even the royal advisors seemed unsure what to do. Ethan tried to stay calm. He knew this news would change everything, not just for himself and Lasara, but for both their worlds. Every morning he joined the queen at meetings with her council. Some of the advisors asked hard questions. They wanted to know how it was possible for a human and an alien to have a child together. The palace doctors explained that the soul bonding ritual might have created a special connection, but no one was sure. Lasara sat straight and proud at the meetings. She answered every question with a calm voice. She told her advisors that she was happy about the child and that the baby would be a symbol of peace. "We have a chance to show our people that we can come together," she said. "We must not be afraid of the future." Some advisors were worried about how the people would react. They feared that old enemies might use the news to cause trouble. Lasara listened to their fears but refused to hide the truth. She said, "Our people must know that hope and love are stronger than fear." Ethan did his best to support her. He stood by her side and spoke to the council. He said that he was ready to help raise the child and work for peace. Some advisors looked at him with respect, but others still seemed unsure. Outside the palace, word of the queen's pregnancy spread. News screens in the city showed her picture, and people gathered in the markets to talk. Some groups cheered, believing that the child would bring good luck and a new age of peace. Others argued that it was too strange to trust a human and worried about what the future would bring. One morning, as Ethan walked through the palace gardens, he heard a group of children talking. They wondered if the baby would look more human or more alien. Ethan smiled and told them, "The baby will be loved by both worlds." The children laughed and ran off, but their words stayed in his mind. The queen's family members came to visit. Lasara's older sister, Princess Marin, arrived with a group of guards. She was tall and looked serious. She asked to speak with Lasara alone. Ethan waited outside the queen's private chamber, feeling nervous. When Lasara came out, she looked tired but peaceful. "My sister was worried, but she understands now," Lasara told Ethan. "She said she will support us." Soon, Lasara called the whole royal court together. The large hall was full of leaders from every part of the empire. Ethan stood beside the queen as she spoke to the crowd. She announced her pregnancy and told everyone that Ethan was the father. The room was silent for a moment. Then some people clapped and others just watched in shock. Lasara spoke from her heart. "This child is a sign of hope for our worlds. We will welcome new life and we will not hide from change." After the speech, many people came forward to wish Lasara and Ethan well. Some nobles promised to help protect the queen and her unborn child. Others kept their distance, unsure what to think. Back in her private rooms, Lysara thanked Ethan for his support. She told him, "You have given my people hope. Even those who are afraid will learn in time that this is a blessing." Ethan felt proud, but he also worried. He knew that not everyone was happy about the news. That night he walked the palace halls and saw some guards whispering together. He wondered if there were still enemies hiding nearby, waiting for a chance to strike. A few days later, a group of angry nobles sent a message to the queen. They said that they did not trust the human and wanted the old ways to return. Lysara met with them face to face. She spoke clearly and firmly. "The world is changing," she said. "If we do not accept change, we will be left behind." Ethan watched as Lysara stood up to her critics. He admired her courage. He promised himself that he would always support her. No matter what happened, the queen's pregnancy became a big story not just in the city, but also on Earth. News reporters sent messages back and forth between the two planets. Some people on Earth were happy and some were worried. Ethan's family sent him a message, asking if he was safe and if the stories were true. He wrote back, telling them about Lysara and their hopes for peace. One day an alien scholar from a faraway world arrived at the palace. She wanted to study the bond between Lysara and Ethan. The scholar interviewed them both and took many notes. She believed the soul bonding ceremony had changed their bodies and their hearts. She said, "This is the first time in history that our two peoples have truly joined. It is something to be proud of." Lysara and Ethan tried to focus on the positive things. They held more public events together, showing everyone that they stood united. They visited schools, hospitals, and even farms outside the city. People began to smile and wave when they saw them, but danger was never far away. The rival faction that had attacked before was still active. Ethan and Lysara got news that the enemy was planning something new. They met with the palace guards and planned how to keep everyone safe. Ethan even learned some alien fighting moves from the guards. He wanted to protect Lysara and their unborn child. One night, while Ethan and Lysara sat together in the garden, she spoke softly. "There will always be those who fear what is new, but we must not let fear control us." Ethan nodded. "We have come this far because we believe in peace. I will stand with you, no matter what." Lysara smiled and took his hand. "Together, we are stronger." The days passed and the queen's belly grew. Healers visited often to check on her and the baby. They said everything looked healthy. Sometimes Lysara felt tired, but she always found time to meet with her people. Soon the Festival of Unity arrived. It was a holiday where people from every part of the empire came together to celebrate peace. This year the festival was bigger than ever. Banners showed pictures of Lysara and Ethan, and people danced in the streets. During the festival, Lysara gave another speech. She told everyone, "This child is not just mine or Ethan's. This child belongs to both our worlds. Let us welcome the future together." The crowd cheered, and Ethan felt tears in his eyes. He looked at Lysara and saw hope and love shining in her face. After the festival, Ethan and Lysara walked through the city together. People greeted them with respect and kindness. Some gave small gifts for the baby. For the first time, Ethan felt truly accepted by everyone, but the peace was fragile. Late at night, news came that the rival faction was planning a new attack. Lysara called her advisors and guards. Ethan joined the meeting, helping to plan the city's defense. He felt nervous, but he was ready to fight for the queen and their future. Together, Lysara and Ethan stood at the heart of the palace, ready to face whatever dangers might come. They knew there were hard times ahead, but they also knew that hope was stronger than fear. The world was changing, and they would lead it forward, side by side. The next morning, Ethan woke to the sound of alarms. He sprang from bed and rushed to find Lysara. She was already at the palace command center, studying the maps with her advisors. Ethan joined her, heart pounding. "The enemy is coming," Lysara said. Her voice was calm but firm. "They have built a new fleet and plan to attack the city at dawn." Ethan looked at the maps. He saw dozens of ships gathering outside the city's shield. "How many do they have?" An advisor replied. "More than before. They hope to break us quickly." Lysara turned to Ethan. We must be ready. Ethan nodded. He felt fear, but also determination. He remembered the Queen's words, "Hope and love are stronger than fear." He was ready to fight. They spent the morning organizing the defenses. Guards readied their weapons, robots patrolled the walls, and healers prepared medical stations. Ethan helped by giving advice on human tactics he knew. The alien commanders listened and adapted their plans. As the sun rose, the enemy fleet arrived. Dark shapes moved against the sky. The city's shield glowed brightly, protecting the walls. Ethan and Lysara stood on the balcony watching. Lysara spoke softly, "This will be our hardest battle yet. But we will protect our people." Ethan took her hand. "We will face it together." The first wave of enemy fighters hit the shield. Explosions lit up the sky. The palace shook with each blast. Guards fired back with energy weapons, the beams cutting through the attackers. Exeter, the royal guard captain, shouted orders, "Push them back! Keep the shield strong!" Ethan joined the command center, helping link human communication methods with the alien systems. He relayed messages between the palace and the outer defenses. His quick work helped block a surprise attack on the eastern wall. Hours passed and the fighting was fierce. Enemy ships broke through in small groups, dropping soldiers onto the city. On the ground, alien guards clashed with enemy fighters. Ethan put on light armor and joined a team that rushed to help civilians. Trapped in a collapsed building, Lysara used her royal power to protect the city. She stood on the palace tower and raised her hands. A wave of energy spread through the streets, pushing back the enemy forces. Her power made the shield stronger and healed the injured. Ethan saw her from the courtyard, her blue skin glowing. In the light, he ran toward her side. Some guards stayed to protect the queen, while others fought around them. A group of enemy soldiers approached. Ethan drew his weapon and fired. He moved quickly, saving a guard whose foot was trapped under rubble. The guard looked at Ethan with gratitude. "Thank you," the guard said. "We would have lost her." Ethan nodded and helped free the guard. Then he returned to Lysara. She was safe but tired. Lysara looked at Ethan. "We must end this soon." Ethan pressed a button on his device. "All units, focus on the command ships. If we stop their leaders, they might retreat." The fleet's command ships hovered above the city. They directed the enemy forces. If Ethan's plan worked, the battle could turn. Pilots took his message and aimed for the command ships. Alien fighters from the Royal Air Force joined the humans. A new wave of attacks targeted the lead ship. Under heavy fire, it lost power and crashed into the ocean outside the city wall. Enemy soldiers on the ground hesitated when their command link was gone. Their coordination broke down. The guards pressed forward and drove the invaders back. After a fierce fight, the enemy retreated. The city's shield remained strong and the walls held firm. Cheers rose from the streets. People hugged each other, crying with relief. Lysara turned to Ethan. "You saved us again." Ethan smiled, though he was exhausted. "We did it together." They walked through the city, greeting people. Civilians thanked them and guards saluted. For a moment, the danger seemed far away. As night fell, Lysara called a meeting in the palace hall. She spoke to her people, her voice soft but clear. "Today, we stood together and defended our home. We showed that unity between our peoples can be strong. We will rebuild and continue our work for peace." The crowd cheered. Some held signs with both human and alien symbols. Ethan felt tears in his eyes. He looked at Lysara, pride and love filling his heart. The next days were busy with rebuilding. Walls were fixed, and hospitals treated the wounded. Ethan worked alongside the healers and guards. The people began to trust him more, seeing how he cared for their safety. Lysara visited the wounded in their beds. She spoke kindly to each person. Ethan saw her touch their hands and listen to their stories. Her power still glowed faintly, healing injuries and easing pain. One afternoon, as they toured a hospital ward, Lysara paused by a small child. The child's leg was hurt in the fighting. He looked at the queen with wide eyes. "You are the queen." The child whispered, "Will your baby be safe?" Lysara knelt beside him and smiled. Yes, this child is a sign of hope, and I will protect both my baby and all children of our worlds. The child smiled back and nodded. Ethan felt a warm glow inside, seeing the child's trust. That night, Ethan and Lysara walked in the palace gardens. The flowers were still glowing softly. They sat on a bench and watched the stars. Lysara spoke. Our child will be born soon. We must prepare. Ethan nodded. I will stand by you every step of the way. Lysara looked at him with love. With our people behind us, I know we can face anything. Ethan held her hand. I believe that too. In the days before the birth, the palace was calm. The rival faction was weakened and no longer posed a threat. The people focused on hope and rebuilding their lives. Queen Lysara and Ethan spent time with scholars who studied the unique baby's development. They recorded every detail, hoping to learn how a human and alien could have a child. Some scientists from Earth sent messages asking to send a team to study the child. The politicians on Earth debated, but Ethan always spoke for the child's safety. One evening, as Ethan and Lysara walked along a balcony, they saw a bright comet in the sky. The comet was a symbol in alien legend for new beginnings. Lysara pointed at it and said, This is a good sign. Ethan smiled. Good beginnings indeed. The night before the birth, Lysara could not sleep. Ethan stayed by her side, holding her hand. They talked quietly about their hopes for the child. Ethan told her about stories he would share from Earth tales of brave heroes, kind kings and queens and families who worked together. Lysara listened, her hand on her belly. She looked at Ethan with love and said, Together we will create a new story. Ethan nodded, tears in his eyes. Yes, a story of two worlds united. As the first light of dawn touched the sky, they felt the palace stir. The time had come. Guards and healers prepared the birthing room. Ethan stayed close to Lysara, offering comfort. Queen Lysara looked at Ethan and whispered, Thank you for everything. Ethan smiled and kissed her hand. Thank you for trusting me. The doors closed, and in the quiet room they welcomed a new life, their child, the symbol of hope for both worlds. After the long night of waiting, Queen Lysara felt the first signs of labor. Ethan stayed by her side. He held her hand as healers prepared the birthing room. The soft glow of the palace lights made everything feel calm and hopeful. The door closed behind them, and Lysara lay on a comfortable bed. Ethan knelt beside her. You are strong, he said. I am here with you. Lysara gave him a small smile. Thank you, Ethan. Our child will be born soon. The healers and midwives moved quietly, helping Lysara breathe and guiding her through each wave of pain. Ethan whispered words of comfort. He held a small glass of water and gently wiped her forehead. Outside the room, guards stood in silence, and the palace staff waited with bated breath. News had spread that the child was coming. Hope and fear mixed in the halls. Inside, Lysara's face showed pain but also peace. She closed her eyes and remembered Ethan's kindness and the soul bond they shared. She felt the child move inside her. Ethan, she murmured, I can feel our baby. Ethan leaned closer. You are doing great. I love you. Lysara nodded, tears in her eyes. I love you too. The healers guided Lysara's breathing. The palaces. Special medical technology shone softly, giving them light and comfort. Ethan prayed for their child's safety. After what felt like hours, Lysara's voice grew strong. I see the child's head, she said. The healers encouraged her. Ethan held her hand firmly. With a final effort, Lysara pushed. A cry filled the room. The child was born. A healer wrapped the baby in a soft blanket and handed the child to Lysara. Tears streamed down Lysara's face as she held her baby. Ethan stood and looked with wonder. The child had soft blue skin with hints of human warmth. The eyes were bright and full of life. Ethan gently touched the baby's cheek. Welcome to the world, he whispered. He kissed Lysara's hand. Our hope, our future, Lysara smiled, holding both of them close. Our child will unite our peoples. Down the hall, a cheer rose from the guards. Word passed through the palace. The queen and the human diplomat had a healthy child. Joy spread quickly. In the throne room, advisors and nobles gathered to hear the news. Lasara and Ethan entered together, holding the baby. The hall was silent. As they approached, Lasara spoke clearly. "Behold our child, symbol of unity and peace." The crowd gasped, then cheered. Many knelt, offering respect. Ethan stepped forward. "I promise to protect our child and work for peace between our worlds." People whispered and nodded. Smiles appeared on worried faces. Princess Marin came forward and gently took the baby. She looked at Lasara and Ethan with love in her eyes. "You have done what no one thought possible. Our child is truly a bridge between our people." The emperor of a neighboring planet, who was present as an honored guest, bowed deeply. "This is a great day for all. The child will be known across the galaxy." Lysara and Ethan stayed in the palace for many days, caring for their newborn. They named the baby Nova, meaning new star. Nova grew quickly, showing intelligence and curiosity. When Nova looked at Ethan, it was like seeing a spark of Earth in the alien royal family. When Nova smiled at Lysara, it reflected the warmth of Lysara's world. Word of Nova reached Earth. People cheered for the child who united two worlds. Some scientists studied Nova's new cells and found unique traits. They called it the first true hybrid. Back on the alien planet, Nova's first months were filled with lessons in both human and alien ways. Ethan read stories of Earth's heroes, and Lysara taught Nova the ancient songs of her people. As Nova grew, the two worlds grew closer. Trade began and cultural exchanges happened. Humans and aliens worked side by side. The peace treaty was signed officially, and the alliance was stronger than ever. Years later, Ethan and Lysara stood in Nova's school graduation. Nova wore a small medal, the same medal Ethan had received for bravery. Nova walked to the stage and gave a speech. "My parents taught me that our differences make us stronger. Together we can build a better future." The crowd cheered. Ethan squeezed Lysara's hand and smiled. Their journey had been full of danger, hope, and love. In each other they found strength. In Nova they saw the promise of peace. The story of Ethan, Lysara, and Nova spread across the stars. It showed that when two very different worlds come together with respect and love, they can overcome fear and build a new future. And so, their legend lived on, reminding all who heard it that hope and unity are the greatest forces in the galaxy.